Good Chodesh, everybody. Good evening. Before we start tonight, I just wanted to quickly thank, and I know we're going to formally thank the leader, the Josephi family, for sponsoring tonight. L'zecher Nishmas, our former executive vice president. Igud Harabanim, Josephi.
Watching on YouTube all the time. Look at how beautiful this was. All across the box.
Last week's Parsha Shlach and this coming week's Parsha of Kaira also addresses leadership in a vacuum and in a crisis. The opening words, the Kaira starts, Vayikach Kaira ben Yitzhar ben Kohaz ben Levi. The obvious question comes. The Torah states the Yichus of Korach, but ends by Levi. And the obvious question is, we know that Levi was the son of Yaakov Avinu, the patriarch Jacob. So why omit Yaakov? It's a known omission. So I saw from Heilig Yid, he used to say, of course we know that Yaakov Avinu was the elder Zayda from Korach. But Yaakov Avinu wanted to make a delineation between the leadership of Kairach and the leadership of Moshe Rabbeinu. Kairach looked like a from Erlich Yid, worried about tzitzis and cheles and important things. And Yaakov Avinu was also involved with important things. He fought the Malach, he fought Lavan, he fought his brother, he fought the world, he wanted peace. He couldn't accomplish it, he was fighting. However, when it came to Korach, we got to be careful that the fight was a real fight. Not for the sake of fighting, but the sake of creating. The problem in Parsha Shlach, as the Ramban teaches us, was a lack of faith in Hashem, in the Almighty, the lack of faith of the leaders trusting God Baruch Hu. They could accomplish. The problem with Parsha Korach was, well, we have disguised leaders who are parading like leaders, all in the name of Hashem, taking up the wrong causes. And that was the example of the Igud Harabanim for the last 75 years. Well, there was Rav Avram Hecht, the Nasi for close to 40 of those years. And there was Rabbi Josephi, and we have Rabbi Eisner tonight, Rabbi Shlomo Eisner. These were the people that put up the fight. These were the people that put up the challenge to champion what was correct, the Yaakov Avinu's. And that's the big challenge that we face. When the Igud Harabanim signed the brief from Kolpa, when the signatory, the Amikai briefs, and Rav Hecht so eloquently articulated the Torah position. It's not about making weddings. It's about fighting a fight to show what genuine leadership is. The all sorts of clergy and ministers out there parading as rabbis. And Rav Hecht said once, with the issue of the Kotel, that anybody can call himself a rabbi in America. Freedom of religion, the First Amendment, Reestablishment clause. Anybody could open a synagogue, call it a house of worship. But to be an authentic house of worship, an authentic house of prayer, an authentic Rav, you have to make sure you can be called a Ben Yaakov. Unlike Korach, who was not able to call himself a Ben Yaakov.
I want to say something about Rabbi Josephi, and all you guys are going to talk, Rabbanim are going to talk about his Torah, about his way of life, his Hasidus and everything. On a personal level, I knew Rabbi Josephi for a long time. Came here, he left his job in Texas. Could have had any job in America, any synagogue in America. He could have gotten the pulpit, made $400,000, and lived an easy life. Hey, come on, smile. That was Rabbi Joseph, putting a smile on everybody's face. And that's important in our generation today. We're always angry about something, we're always complaining about something. We're not laughing, we're not smiling about it. So I just want to dedicate it to the family. And
last night, when I heard it, I have to speak here, I was thinking, what's Pshat? The story tells me that Rav Josephi did not move away this culture from Menhogim or Messiah. And when I come into the Igud and I have to continue, I have to know that I cannot move away from the Messiah, from our Go'onim and Moed Derech that live with us within it in 20, and the G'dolei Yisrael who are Miyasid, Rav Josephi Zatzal, Rav Tenenbaum Zatzal, Rav Hecht Zatzal, And Be'ezel Hashem, my commitment with the Neder is to be mamshech in the derochem tzilach beikvei atzoyin. It is a message that I want to give to the oilem and say to the oilem. People should understand that we have the most choshev bezin that could only be. I'm in touch with Reb Chaim Commandant. Today, he is somebody to come to the bezin from Lakewood that has smicha from Rav Shafran and Rav Nussbaum, and he's getting more and more people to join the Chosh Mishpit. Our Chosh Mishpit is the cleanest Chosh Mishpit that there is, Takas Kippet HaShemayim. We do everything al Taharet HaKodesh, Hilchas Ishis al Taharet HaKodesh, and whoever wants to help us is welcome to join us, and whoever wants to come and change this Messiah, whoever wants to come for different interests, we ask not to come and not to join us, because he will not find a place by us.
Torah says, if you are a scribe, and you can say nice things, and you can sing, I put into a whole category. You can sing, you can say poetry, love saifa. You can't be a swordsman. You can't be both. Only David HaMelech was both. Tonight, what we heard tonight is the Safra side of Rav Yosefi, the sweet side, the smiling side, the side that Gemara says even when you, yes, I visited him in the hospital 2 days before he was here. He greeted me like he was in the middle of a chasna. I couldn't believe it. But I want to share with you one short story, and I promise it's short. I saw the other side of Rav Yosefi, the other side of it. And not too many people did. I take you back about 35 years. I don't remember exactly when. Told Mindy the story. What?
Assemblyman Hirsch.
Yeah, with Assemblyman Hirsch that came at. We went up to see Assemblyman Hirsch. Rav Yosefi calls me in the night before. Here too. He calls me in, or about a week before. He says, Reb Yaakov, we're going to go to Albany. I said, what's Tuvich in Albany? He says they knocked over some of the Matzevis in the Washington Cemetery, in Ocean Parkway. And I'm going to go there, and we're going to tell them what we think about the fact that there's not enough police coverage, there's not enough safety. I said, you're going to go to Albany, to these, you know, these high, I won't say arrogant, but you know, they're very self-absorbed politicians, and you're going to give them in tata, right? Are you kidding? You wouldn't do such a thing. And he smiled and he said, Reb Yaakov, just watch me. We went to Albany. I remember in the car, smile, happy, the Reb Nachum Tzvi that we all knew, happy, stories about the Chafetz Chaim, stories about this. Zagish Magazah. We come in to the assembly hall, Rabbi Sai. We come into the assembly hall. And it's a huge, intimidating assembly hall with the politicians with their coif, blow dry hair, and their egos. I mean, some of them are very good with, you know, they're Lamazog say now, the inferiority complexes were in short supply in that room. But the assembly, he said, show them. I showed a slideshow of the broken Matzevis. He gets up, smiles, goes off his face. He looks around in the assembly room of the New York State, whatever it's called, the room where and he goes, and I don't want to yell, he goes, what is this? And he screams, Mom screams it. He said, he says, how can you let this happen? You represent us. How can you let it happen? These people have their Matzevis broken. And he ranted on, and you can see that some of these high-powered politicians, they were all dribbling, he screamed and yelled at them. It was, you know, that some rough from Borough Park is going to get up and start screaming at the legislators and all of them. On the way back, I was still chasing. because I hoped I would get out with the rest of it. We didn't know what it was, you know, this is not a good one. It was worth it, I'm telling you. And I looked at him, and I said to him, no, why did you do that? We're lucky to get out alive. What did you do to screaming at legislators? He says to me, Rabbi Yankiv, I'll never forget this. He goes, the reason ain't I wasn't there, I was nothing to say. I was there as a shliach of Am Yisrael. I was there as a shliach of Klal Yisrael. They sent me. I have a machiyah below Sakur with Nagish. I have a chiyah to do what they sent me for. I shouldn't have gone in the first place. All I can tell you in ending here is, with this talent that I see in this evening, it is awesome. As good as any I can remember, and they were great men. And on a feeling how you are, they were giants. This is, the Igud has talent on its president and its leadership. There's Gavaldi. We come from good stock. By the Abish there's a mitzvah of Olachta B'Drochov. By us there's a mitzvah of V'halachtem B'Darcheihem. We had a leader once, a president, who got up and said what he thought, Lo Saguru Mipnei Ish, and the Rabbinical Shalom knows what it cost him, and we know what it cost him. So we have precedent, we have gravitas, we have a Messiah. Let us not forget the Nochem Tzvi Joseph. Let us never forget him. Because in good times like this, we will be suffering. But the Zecher Nishmas, Reb Nochem Tzvi, when we have to, Rabbi said, we will be Sayecha. Ayeshakoya.
There was a man in the Midwest who was traveling in a hot air balloon. And he was traveling for hours. And you know how it is in the Midwest. Everything is flat, it all looks the same. And he becomes lost. He's completely disoriented in terms of where he is. He's nervous. He looks around, he sees a man on the ground. And he lowers the balloon, he yells to him, he says, "Sir, where am I?" He says, "You're in a hot air balloon, 30 feet above the ground." He goes, yes, I know, but where am I? I'm lost. He goes, well, it's 40 degrees latitude, 60 degrees longitude. It's okay. He just goes back and forth for some time. And then he says to him, he says, "Sir," he says, "by the way, are you a rabbi?" He says, "Yes, how did you know?" Because everything you told me was technically correct, but it's completely irrelevant. Complete contrast, Rabbi Giuseppe was all about bringing people together. You know, there's a big difference between fourth generation American Jews and first generation Americans. Difference in cultures and dress and what we eat. But he was a man that truly brought everyone together. And maybe there was some conflict here and there, but there's conflict at the end of the day for a higher cause. You know, my wife, Ricky, or Hannah Rivka, the youngest child of Rabbi Giuseppe, and I, we have this running joke. We'll be at a Simcha, we'll be at a store, whatever it is, we'll run into somebody from her childhood and say, I remember him, he used to live in our house. And then we'll be someplace else and she'll say, I remember her, and I'd interrupt her and I'd say, I know, she used to live in your house. I go, what does that mean? All these people live in your house. Did you live in Buckingham Palace? What does that mean even? But it didn't make a difference, you know? If people needed a place to stay for a week, a month, if they needed a place to stay every Shabbos of the year, it didn't make a difference. If you were a Jew, then Rabbi Giuseppe would bring you into the house, and that's what was so important. You know, I'd come for a Shabbos here and there, and at the Shabbos table, there are always friends and family, but that's a given. But on top of that, there'd always be the new family that he just met, or a troubled young man, or misfits. It didn't make a difference. All these people, they were all brought together. But Rabbi Giuseppe was extremely relevant. He was relevant to so many people, and personally, it was beautiful for me to witness. You know, as I mentioned before, as a polar opposite of Korah. Instead of dividing, Rabbi Giuseppe brought people together in all walks of life. Mexico City and Houston and Pittsburgh, Borough Park are all very, very different communities, but it made no difference. Every Jew's life that he touched, he made it better. We were grateful to have him. We will always remember him, and he will be greatly missed.
has to do with what took place in Netiv Ha'avot, in Eretz Yisrael, in Judea and Samaria, Yehuda and Shomron. 15 families, established families in an established community, were forced out of their homes, and today, Rahman al-Islam, these beautiful Jewish homes were destroyed al pi pekudah, by the fiat of the Israeli High Court. What should be the response to such a travesty that Jews have taken their fellow Jews out of their homes? And both the police were crying and the border guards were crying, those who have a heart. And of course the children, generations, Babas and Zaydas, fathers and mothers and grandchildren and little children, seeing that their home is no longer their home, that their life dream of decades is being destroyed. And where is it happening? Not in Germany, not in New York, but in our holy land, Eretz Yisrael. So give me 3 minutes. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. Rabbi Yitzchak said, so why did the Torah begin with creation? So the very first Rashi says, Koyach Maisav Higid Li'amai, quoting David HaMelech from Tehillim, that the nations of the world will come to the Jewish people at a time and they will say, Listim Atem, you are usurpers, you are strangers, you are ganavim, you are thieves. We have to answer them. Hu Bara, Hu Nasana, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the creator of the world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who gave us Eretz Yisrael. We are Rabbanim. We have to speak up. We need to be their voice. Although we support Eretz Yisrael and the state of Israel, the people of Israel, because it's a matter of pikuach nefesh, this does not obviate what it says in the Torah, Reestablishment, avel b'mishpat. You cannot do an unjust thing with judgment. Melamed shahadayin amekalkelis adin. If you have judges who corrupt the law, Karo avel, they're doing something which is an avela. They're called sanu, they are called hated, they are called meshukets, chayvim, bitayeva, and we won't translate these very strong lashonos that Chazal say about someone who does a mishpat which is avel, which is incorrect. And the very same pasha, a few psukim later, it says again, leisasu avel b'mishpat. And Rashi says, what does it mean by midah uba meshura? Bamida, Rashi says, quoting Teiras Kahanim, Zoi midas ha'aretz. This is corrupting a law which is connected with a boundary of the land. And it doesn't say about Eretz Yisrael, but certainly about Eretz Yisrael. When we begin to read Adam Ki Yakriv, and we hear the way these justices who are unjust, and they say, we are the Adam, we are the boundaries of civilization, we are the foundations of civilization, we'll show the world how to really be just. That's why the Torah says, Adam ki yakriv mikem, ma Adam arishon lehikriv min hagezel, shehakol haya shaloi, av atem leisakrivu min hagezel. You cannot be a tzaddik, you cannot give the land of Eretz Yisrael to our enemies and to our detractors, to those who seek our harm, and say we're showing the world how to be just. If you are doing gifts that belong to someone else, this is not a korban, this is not an offering, this is gezel. I would say to the justices of Israel who push this law that they are less than Adam in this particular case. Whatever happened to the Supreme Court Justice of Israel? What about showing compassion, forbearance for others? What does the Torah say? Whatever happened to what it says in Shoftim, the clarion call, tzedek, tzedek, tirdoi, laman tichye ve'arashkas ha'aretz. Whatever happened to the law of leisasik gevul reyachash hadgazul rishayim says Rashi Le'sigzo, already says it already in Vayikra. Why does the Torah have to repeat it? And he answers, Lamed al kol ha'ikar, Tuchum chaveroi, whoever uproots the boundaries of his fellow, the land upon which he lives, Sha'ayla b'shnei lavin, that you are transgressing not only theft, but you're also transgressing another prohibition of theft, because this is Eretz Yisrael. My friends, we support Eretz Yisrael, we love Eretz Yisrael. But we have to send out a message to this Justice Minister of Israel and to the Prime Minister of Israel, and to those who really care about Eretz Yisrael in Eretz Yisrael, that this is an injustice that we are not going to be silent. We need to see that that all of Eretz Yisrael, and if we really believe, and if we really love Eretz Yisrael, and if we really listen to the Gedolei Yisrael and what they tell us about Eretz Yisrael, then each and every one of us will lift their voice and do what we need to do, so that these families who have been removed from their home will once again find a warm home in Eretz Yisrael, and they will know that we in America support them completely, absolutely. I should mention that this Shabbos is going to be the 24th Yortzeit of the Rebbe. You all know how the Rebbe worked for Klal Yisrael, and for Eretz Yisrael, and for Shleimus Haaretz, and for Pikuach Nefesh. We have to remember, by the enemies of Israel seeing that the state of Israel is throwing Jews out of their home on a piece of contested property where there's no proof that it belongs to anyone else, and it's basically state land, why can't we show the same kind of Rahmanas and the same kind of understanding as we might show to others? Thank you.